All right, Michael, you're clearly in the top 1% of what you do. What is it about you that separates you from the rest of the field?
To give a fitness thing, it's just reps. So I've been doing the commercial real estate stuff since 1986, and if you get enough reps in, if you do enough leases, if you do enough deals, I can just step into, like, for example, a shopping center deal and completely know everything that's going on just by the cross streets, just by, everything that's around it and everything. And I can just break it down. And I'm not bragging about this. It's just like, because I've done so many of them, I can parachute into almost any city of the world, see what's around it, and say, this is what you can do, this, and this. Especially in the United States, though, because I have relationships with a lot of the national tenants. So it's like, you just do this, and this, and then, boom, you've raised income, you've done this, you've tightened this up, you've reduced these expenses. So
yeah,
that's, what I've done. And then I've found out on the technology side that since I've been involved with a lot of different things, I've been on nonprofit boards, I've been on like all kinds of things. So when I get brought into an advisory role, I know about, what type of insurance you need. I know about where you should be domiciled. I know about, a bunch of different things. I know a lot about, marketing. It's like, well, did you guys do this? Did you guys do this? Here's how you get in front of those, VCs. Here's how you get in front of some of those investors. So, I mean, that's, it's an outgrowth of, what I've done with real estate and with the charitable organizations.
Yeah, you're right, man. It really comes down to reps, consistency, experience. Like you said, you can take a deal that might take somebody, days or weeks or months to do due diligence on, to figure out what's going on in that city with that property on that block, with those tenants. But you can just look at it in a few minutes and be like, here's what it is, because you've seen it. You've seen it. People ask me, like, how do you look at a set of offering documents, right, that's 250 pages long and digest all that? I'm like, because I know where to look. I know where the problems are. I know I don't have to read all 250 pages. I know where the problems are. I know where to look. And it's just from reps. It's just from reps and experience.
Well, and the truly unique thing about retail real estate is you have to know about each of those individual tenants' businesses. So you learn about, what a restaurant, wants. You learn about, why Starbucks wants to be on the morning side of the commute. I mean, and there's so many other things that just go into retail real estate that don't typically go into like an office building or multifamily or a warehouse. You just learn a lot more about a bunch of different businesses.
Totally. And like you said, on the advisory side, it's like, maybe you're not a marketing expert or an insurance expert, but you've seen it because you've done it before. You've seen other groups, other startups go through it. So like you can
I've been sued before.
That'll make you remember something, right?
For slip and falls, for partnerships, for, if you're in it long enough, it's more than likely going to happen. So
yeah, that's probably why lawyers are so cautious, right? Like not only because we've been trained to be that way, but also because we see all these lawsuits and all these things that can go wrong, because we're usually brought in when they go wrong, not when they go right.
Right.
All right, man. Typically, to get in the top 1%, though, you have to take some risk, and I think most entrepreneurs understand that. What's the biggest risk that you've taken, and how did it pay off?
It's really tough to say because I've been rolling the dice on a lot of different things. So there's stuff that I do that seems extremely risky, but it doesn't seem risky to me. But other people are like, why would you do that? So there's just but my biggest problem is that sometimes it's like, it looks like a really good deal and it's like, let's go all in on it. And then other times, I've been too cautious. So there was a while there where we didn't buy stuff for about 5 years because I thought that, the market was way too frothy, and it still kept going up all the way to 2023. So there is no single one. Well, I will tell you the single biggest risk was getting married, and the next biggest risk was I actually didn't want children up until my first son we were on the way to the hospital, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I can't do this. I don't have the money to pay for college and all the rest of this stuff. And this is like, we're driving to the hospital, and I'm like, I'm just not ready for this. So I'm going to say that's the biggest risk is having children. And I want to encourage everybody that God provides. So no matter how many children you have, it's all provided for. Just take the risk and have the kids, because we also need other people to come and replace us, and that's how the economy grows and everything else. But that was the biggest risk. I mean, my wife and I were married for quite a few years before we had kids, and it was like a tremendous change to our lifestyle and everything else. But I will say, without a doubt, my kids are grown now, and it was the best decision and the best thing ever in my life, because kids really are a complete joy. So that's the risk that I would, recommend everybody take.
Awesome, man. I've actually got my first one due. I don't know if I've told you this because I haven't seen you in person for a while.
Didn't.
First one due in 7 weeks.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. I am so happy for you. So that's great.
Yeah, and I love how you brought having kids back to the economy. You're like, and having kids is what this economy needs, because we need them to spend.
Well, I mean, it's going to be very scary with the population decline. So, because your stuff isn't going to always go up if the population declines. So,
that's right.
But I would just recommend having kids just because of the joy it brings. I mean, you think that, there's all this problems, there's all this stuff that's going to happen to my life. And as I was concerned about how am I going to pay for this, it all works out. So, and you'll look back, I like going to visit my oldest son who's, 28 this weekend. And it's like, how fast that went, how great it is. He's married, he's got his own, he's in institutional real estate, and they bought a house, and my youngest guy works for me, he's 25, and it's just been a fantastic ride. I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's awesome, brother. Thanks for sharing.